allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yep.
Linda?
Yep.
Steve?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay. Need approval, you can make a motion to approve the video as minutes.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Linda?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yep.
Steve?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Okay. Scott, you
Yeah.
can do the,
Okay, bank reconciliation for 6/30/2018. Adjusted bank balance of $1,826,226.72.
speak up a little bit so we can hear you.
Payment listing for June 2018. We spent $46,303.65. As I roto status for around 59 to 60% of the revenue status. Over to coming in. Appropriations so far, we're looking good and everything, but no major issues with the funds.
Okay. Everybody hear that? Hear no other discussion, then we'll have to make, somebody make a motion for approval of the finance report.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Steve?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Joyce?
Joyce?
Yeah.
Linda?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay, special guests, you wanna do Steve's or?
Yes, Steve Amway was here. They're gonna build they want to build a parking lot on the north side of the school. They got quotes for the excavation and the paving of it. They'll meet all of our zoning requirements. And the quote says it'll be done well before the 18-month timeline required in zoning. There's not gonna be a problem with that, and I will meet with them tomorrow at 7:30.
Yeah.
Okay, Todd,
Yes,
you wanna come up here to the podium and do your?
sure. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, do your.
Oh.
But,
Yeah, I got a letter in the mail saying my swimming pool. I think everyone probably, and I'm Todd T. I lived in the village for, everyone knows, 50 years, whatever. I've had a pool that's been there for 13, 14 years. It's got a deck around it, and the sides are not quite 5 foot tall. I've got a locked gate on it, and I got a letter that said that it needed to be fenced in. And so I talked to Gary about it for a little bit, and I've had my insurance man come out years ago, and he said that's perfectly fine, it's safe. If I felt that anything was unsafe about it, I would have addressed it myself. And so I talked to Gary, and he said talk to John, and John, I had a conversation with you, and I believe you said no exceptions.
Well, it's up to them. I can't make any exceptions.
Well,
That's up
I
to
don't
them.
feel that it's unsafe by any means, and it's been there, it's not one of these portable pools that people are throwing up in town because they want to swim in their backyard. It has an exposed ladder. My gate is always locked. It's never had any issues whatsoever. And I just don't feel that.
Is it short enough though that a small child could climb over it?
I don't think so. If I put it, you know, it's not like it's something you can fall into. It'd be work for me to get into it over the south edge of the pool. And I've got a deck around half of it, so that's all already protected there. And like I said, I always have a locked gate on it, so. And it's been there for 13 or 14 years, so.
The issue, I mean, the real issue is, I mean, was security for kids. I mean, that's what this drives this whole thing, right? I mean, we've had this discussion a couple times, because there was several pools in the community that were vulnerable to small children or whatever.
Absolutely.
You know, or whatever. And that's what, I think, I should say a little bit more detail in the zoning there, what the criteria was. It had to be in a secure, like, more than anything. I mean, the pool itself had to be secure so people can't get into it, you know.
Right.
It's not, you know.
But it's not like
So
it's
the
something
kids
I
can get
just put
into
up.
it.
It's been there for a long time, and I've had zero issues with it. And like, if I felt anything was unsafe, I would definitely have done something different. But I feel that it's another foot of fence isn't going to stop someone that really wants to get into it.
No, but we're not worried about.
We're not
worried about the kids.
adults, we're worried about little kids.
Right,
Kids,
yeah.
you know, somebody getting hurt.
Is that a state thing, or is that just a zoning thing?
Well, what does your zoning say?
That's what Rob's looking at.
I'm looking it up right now. I know it says a 6-foot fence around
So
it.
no, I'm gonna take a look real quick here. I feel like swimming pools
I
are
don't think
rules in
ORC
general.
says that, but that's our zoning.
Yeah. So,
I'm gonna double check here. I can't imagine, because I think out in the country, in unzoned places, I don't think you have to have anything.
It has more to do with your insurance company than anything else. When I built my pool out in 12, I had to have a 6-foot fence around it because the Nationwide says, well, cancel insurance if you don't. That was what they said.
That was an above ground.
In-ground.
Well, of course, an in ground you can fall into. You can't fall into an above ground.
I think the biggest thing is we gotta make sure that as long as it's secure, so kids can't get into it. That's the
Right,
biggest thing.
absolutely. I
So-
totally
So
agree
I
with
think
that.
maybe, you know, Rob's gonna look at it, make sure that it's in that kind of position, and I think we can work through the issues. But the main thing is that we're concerned with this. We have some pools around here that, you know,
Yeah,
the kids
nothing
could,
wrong.
you know, the
Right,
kids could get
right.
into,
I
and that's,
understand that.
and we don't want anybody to get hurt, you know, that's what it's really all about, you know. Not to be punitive to anybody, we just wanna make sure it's safe so kids don't get into it.
I understand that.
Okay, I'll read, this is section 3.4 of our zoning. All swimming pools 1 1/2, in other words, 1.5 feet deep, or more depth, or the entire backyard of which they are located, shall be fenced, walled, or prevented uncontrolled access from the street or adjacent properties. Said barriers shall not be less than 6 feet in height and maintained in good condition with a gate and a lock. No poles shall be located closer than 6 foot from any property line. Now, that's what it says. Now, you can say uncontrolled access, and then you can determine what height that is. Our ordinance says 6 foot. Now, there's a provision for appealing that. And that's just a matter of and in this case, it's been there so long, I'm gonna ask the council for help on this, to sit down and decide what we wanna do. It'd be nice if we had like maybe a picture or something of it, so we can know what, and have a good reference for what we're talking about. But like you said
Deck
last
all the way
month,
around it?
That goes around half of it. You could go out the back door, you can see it from across the ditch here, but it's got a 16 by 20 deck that goes around half of it, so that's obviously,
Right.
you'd have to climb
Right.
10 feet over the top of that, but
Yeah, okay.
I mean, maybe-
pardon me, I'm a little bit new to this, I'm learning this as we go, and I'm reading the ordinance verbatim. So I mean,
Well,
I know what I've experienced in my life, but that doesn't really hold much to do with what we have here, so.
So I guess maybe we think we done with, as long as it's secure and the kids can't get into it and all that stuff, I mean, if it's 5 feet or whatever.
It's as tall as me or a little bit taller,
Right.
so.
To do that, and I don't have a problem doing it,
Yeah,
but we're gonna have to amend this.
yeah.
I may have
Yeah.
to put a little taller gate on, because I had to cut part of that off. Other than that, I feel very, very safe with having that in my neighborhood.
What's your address?
108 Thomas Street.
I will figure out a solution to this. I mean, we don't want to be punitive, but we just want, the main thing we're worried about is the kids. So we got some way to make it so it's secure, so that, you know, if you're not home, you know, the kids can't somehow, because, you know, they will, they break away from their parents.
Yeah,
you know,
neighbors.
Neighbors, or whatever.
How tall is the pool?
The sides are 54 inches tall, I believe.
That's a 4 foot. 4 foot of roof.
4 foot water, right?
Because I'm just looking at some other towns, and some other towns say if it's an above-ground pool, it must have either a removable or locking ladder, or a fence of a locking gate of at least 60 inches.
Yeah, see, and that's, my dad
So
had,
it's 6
had one,
inches.
and what he did was he built a deck on it, and he had a ladder that came up and locked out of the way, and that was what.
That's
zoning
what
called
Todd,
for.
that's what Todd's got, right?
And that's what a lot of towns call for. This isn't taking into account whether it's an above ground or in ground.
'Cause it makes a
It's just saying
difference.
Swimming pool.
Yeah.
Above or below should make a difference in your zoning.
Yeah, and it doesn't, and there's like Gary and all of us was talking about before the meeting started, that there's so much, the zoning is actually so vague that we have to refine it a little bit before we start getting on our white horses and charging after people,
Yeah.
so.
That makes sense.
So there's some lag horses right now, just like.
Yeah, got ponies.
So we're not, you know, like I said, we'll work with you, we're not being punitive, but we just want to make sure it's secure, we can lock it up and the kids can't get into it.
And his
Right.
gate is
Totally
locked
understand
up.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Scott said last minute, these things here are living documents. If we find out we're good, then we'll do what we can to straighten it out.
Okay,
It's not out there to get anybody.
appreciate that.
So at this point, do we disregard his letter?
No, we don't disregard it. What we're gonna have to do is like I mentioned to Gary and Scott, we need to go into, and maybe you didn't hear me, but need to go into executive session and pick out a few of these things and start refining it so that we can meet that criteria of being safe, okay, without being overly punitive. I don't believe a 6 foot, this is my personal feelings. 6 foot fence all the way around your yard because you got a 4 foot above ground pool, I don't think that's really an answer. I mean, it's so expensive to put those damn things up. I mean, the fence costs more than the pool, so. No, we're not gonna disregard it. You're gonna be responsible to make
Yes,
sure you
that.
meet. We'll go through this, and then we'll let you know what our findings are.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll get it straightened out, you know.
Fair enough.
We'll figure out what we gotta do to make it right, so. The
Yeah.
biggest thing is, that we're, you know, worrying about public safety, and that's what we're worried about,
That's
the
the
kids.
number one thing.
Yeah, make sure the kids and stuff don't get hurt. 'Cause there's a lot of younger kids in town.
So does anybody, while he's here, have any questions for him?
I've seen it, I know it's
Yeah.
secure,
Yeah,
and I've been to his place.
yeah,
okay.
I
okay,
wanna
thank
go
you.
there. I may even
Okay.
drive by your house on the way home to the meeting
Yeah.
just to see it.
Yeah,
You might
absolutely.
even get in.
You want, yeah, you want to
Water's like 88 right now, so.
Hi, how'd you get your wallet wet again?
Okay, thanks,
Okay,
guys.
thanks, Todd.
Okay, thanks, Todd. Alicia? Please state your name and that first.
Oh, Alicia Lanky, and I am here to talk about some community things that I have, questions and things that have happened. So the garage sales were 2 weekends ago. They were, for my first time doing it, great success. 24 people registered. So that means 24 people gave me $4 to advertise in the newspaper. There was a little confusion there. Next year that'll get straightened out. April had beautiful full advertisements, and when I spoke to them at the Advertiser Tribune, I got a little column. So, not too sure what happened there. I told them everything April told me, didn't mesh, so it wasn't advertised as well as I would have liked it to be. However, it did leave us more room for bigger garage sale signs, which I think helped out a lot. We got a lot of garage sale signs out and about. Learned that it's gonna be Friday, Saturday next year, not Saturday, Sunday. When I took it over, I was like, well, what weekend, how does this usually work? What's good? And I was told any weekend you want. In my mind, a weekend is Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
So that's when I was like, let's do that. Well, lesson learned. What was really exciting though out of all of this is that the Burgoon participants said there was a lot of interest from Burgoon. It's just so difficult because Burgoon is so far away from people. I mean, you guys know where I'm at. I'm right at the corner of 590 and Union. I had a lot of people stop in because I was right there. And I told them there's not garage sales down the road, down Union Street, or down 590 into Burgoon, and I don't want to go to Burgoon. What's really neat is that next year, those in Burgoon want to come into the Legion. They, like a lot of other villages do, some will set up in churches, some will set up in legions, VFWs. They'll get a couple of tables together and do multiple garage sales inside of the building. So I think that's something really exciting to look forward to next season. That's something I kind of want to start getting interest in a couple of months. Obviously, it just happened. I got some time. But that, I thought that was really neat. I wanted to share that and make it known that that's something that we could see possibly next year, which is awesome. My second thing, the sign. I do my best to maintain it. Sometimes I forget, I just started a new job, got 2 boys, not excuses, but I do forget. We'll do my best. I'm going out tonight or tomorrow for your VBS.
Thank you.
A couple of things about the sign I'm noticing now. I've had it less than a year, like a little over 6 months. It swells. It's all wood. I don't know if you guys have ever gotten up close to it. The way that it is secured so that the weather cannot get to it are 2 plexiglass sheets that have holes drilled into them that I then put a screw through into a little block of wood. That little block of wood has expanded, it's become stripped, so now it just spins, and I do my best. It'll hold up for a while longer. This is not really a call to say, let's get a brand new sign, but more let's do some maintenance, let's get something where it's a little bit easier to access. The idea, I've been to, Genoa, Oak Harbor, I'm from Oak Harbor, so I go up there a lot, and I see that they have the bigger electric signs, and those are nice, and I know that that's not anything we can do right away, but it's something that in the future I'd like to look into, just because not only ease of changing the sign, literally have to go through and pluck each letter and make sure I spelled it right last week, learned I don't know how to spell celebrate, had to go fix that after I walked away, learned my spelling. And, but that's something, down the road. But my other question with this is, can we, as a village, as a council, can we look at beautifying these signs? Because when I was placing garage sale signs, I noticed that the 2 Welcome to Bettsville signs on 590 and coming in from Fremont on 12, the people who have those signs in their yards, they're very beautiful, maintained, flowers growing, wonderful. The one going out of 12, out towards Fostoria, is not. And it's not a big deal, like, it still tells you where you're at, you're in Bettsville, but just for some beautification, is there any way we can look at maybe a hanging basket on the sign, or flowers, or something around it, or even donations from, I guess this is what I'm asking, is it something I would have to check with the property owner of where that sign is at into planting? And okay, I wasn't sure what the zoning was on those, so good to know. Now the same thing for the sign uptown with the bank, I would have to check if that's okay to put anything in or around it? No? Okay, so that's something that if I can get donations of flowers, or if I put a hanging basket around it some way, somehow, that's okay. Okay. And my last bit is about the Halloween Carnival. I know it's July, but yes, last year I only had a month to get stuff together, and we did okay. It was good. It was really short, but it was good. This year I am looking at doing it the weekend before Halloween, so it would be October 27th is where I'm looking at as a potential date. I'm a planner, so I looked ahead at the weather for that weekend, and it says 75. And I know that we've seen it in seasons past where it's been warmer the weekend before the last weekend of October. I remember when it's been cold the weekend before the last weekend of October. So that's kind of where I'm falling. You got a good shot versus when we had it last year with 40-degree weather and had to shift inside. I definitely want to keep it outside. So that is my first is I'm looking at the October 27th, 2 p.m. Not so much early in the morning like I did. In my mind, I thought it was going to be an all-day festivity. It was not. It was barely a 3-hour festivity. So I'm looking at 2 to 5, 2 to 6, something in there, depending upon how everything goes. I am, location-wise, I would like to keep it in the village. I love the park. I love utilizing the park. I would love to have it up there. It'd be great. But my biggest concern, much like children, is them going from the parade to the park. That is a long haul. That was why last year in the beginning, I didn't have any walkers in the parade because it was too long of a haul. You know, the marching band wanted to leave at the fire station because it was too long, and I did it. I marched 4 years in high school. That would have been a long haul. And I would like to keep it here, not so much here exactly at the fire station, but in town. So I'm hoping fire station here on the other side, the big grassy area, is where I'm kind of leaning towards, because that would be a good location. Because I feel like the school I'd have to go through Old Fort directly, so I'd rather, again, deal with Bettsville. So I'm hoping that'll be, I don't know if that's something I have to put in writing to get approved, how that I would go about that. If that's something I can do.
Council says it's okay, right?
It's a good thing, so we want some of the kids to do this stuff, yes.
Absolutely, so I will note that here. Hopefully it's not a rainy season, because I know that floods. Okay. Now, let me see, make sure I go down through my list, because I'll get off topic. So for the carnival, I know last year we operated really truthfully solely on donations from local residents. I had water bottles donated from a woman that worked at the Dollar General, my neighbor donated, some other places donated their times and things like that. One of the things I would like to do this season, since we are doing it in the grassy area here, is the possibility of looking at inflatables. That would just add a level of fun, that would add some more things to do, because if you remember last year's, kids cycled through the games quick because we only had a few games, small space. So I'm not exactly inflatables, but something similar to where we can have activities more than 5 or 6 games. Now with that, obviously, that's going to take a lot of funding, and I'm curious, hoping if there is, if this is again something I'd have to put into writing to the council for the village to donate, obviously not the entire funds, but a certain amount of funds to appropriate towards that. Or if there's another route I should go, how I can go about getting inflatables, just activities, because I can check out local vendors. I have some friends that have run the Oak Harbor activities, and they've got some lists of people to contact for me. So I'm just kind of looking to see what route I need to go in before I start getting.
I think you need to get some numbers and stuff, so you can see what it costs. I see what I like.
And I want you to talk to me sometime.
Okay, I'll swing by. I got a birthday party after I leave here, so Papa Jamie's waiting for me, so not tonight. So like I said earlier, the parade will include walkers this year because I would like to keep it in town. I like starting it at the school, going through the main, coming down Emma down to here. I like that a lot. Very simple, easy. Will that be okay for you? I know it's really far in advance, but you'll be able to be here, and I know Decker did it last year. You'll just basically go in front of everybody and the whole 9 yards. Okay. Gosh, you haven't changed. I haven't seen you in a long time and you haven't changed. Gosh. My other question, my other last question is, I know, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm a little blurred in my memory here. Is this an anniversary year for Bettsville in the sense of like X amount of years of being Bettsville that's established? I might have the dates. Okay.
In '88 it was the sesquicentennial. 88 was the sesquicentennial.
So it wouldn't be anything. Okay. Okay.
Well,
That's,
you were here when they started.
Yeah, well, actually I was.
okay, well that crosses that off my list. I wasn't quite sure. For some reason I had into my head that it was an anniversary year and was going to try and work that into the Halloween carnival, but I couldn't. I've had 2 pregnancies. Last 2 years are a blur. I don't really know where they went. So it could have been, couldn't have been. Other than that, that was really my big thing. So my takeaway is to get inflatable quotes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not looking for anything super elaborate.
Yeah.
I'm just looking
We
for.
don't want the kind that's gonna blow away with the kids in
I
it.
know. I was at the Clyde Festival and there started to deflate while kids were riding on it, and I was just like, I'm not putting Noggy on there. All right, awesome. That was really my big thing was the Halloween carnival, kind of getting that started. I'm gonna probably here soon. You'll start seeing me on Facebook more than normal. I'm already on it enough. But putting out there for the carnival and everything, looking for volunteers. The big thing will be, I had the Ickes family, phenomenal. Kim and Sam both did a whole lot. for me. I had a few other people, but they stick out because Kim just took over arts and crafts for me, which is like my do not fly, cannot do zone. So real appreciative. Looking for people to run the games. Like I said last year, it was a couple of volunteers I had, and my family, my sister, my mom, my husband, they all ran a lot of the games this season. My sister's expecting, not going to be able to do it. So looking for a lot of participation from residents, village residents, as well as council members. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank
you.
Tips here.
Yeah.
You said you got stripped out wood screws.
Yes.
Take a little wood glue, with
Okay.
2 picks, put in the hole, then put your screw in.
Oh.
She'll tighten it up.
Yeah.
That's a Lowe's tip.
Yeah.
That'll help. But yeah, if we could get some, so we'll just kind of check it out. I don't know if that'll be John, Scott, who that'll be, but
Okay.
just kind of, I know it needs blown out. The track is filled from when they mow it, and I do my best, but I'm also afraid of bugs, so lots of little bugs come crawling out on me. Not my deal.
We'll get it cleaned out, we'll get it cleaned out. for
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thanks, Lisa. Okay, that takes care of the special guest for this meeting. Reports from committees.
Finance, sir. I got the financial worksheet budget for 2019. I'll present the council, look through them. Maybe if you want more detail, we'll get some more copies for you. Get you more guys and look through it.
Okay, is that for the 2019 appropriation?
Yeah,
That we have to
appropriations.
vote tonight?
2019 budget.
Budget, so we
Yeah.
gotta print it to or send it to Julie so she can review it and then make sure that, we get everything correctly.
Okay. Okay, police? I think everybody met Gavin, haven't they? If
No, I
not,
haven't.
this is Gavin Sproul, he's our new deputy in town.
Hello.
Well,
Copy of these.
He's super sleuth.
thank you.
Pass those on from there.
Thank you. We need one more. Gavin.
Just got mine. I printed off 8 of them. I must have left one in the printer over there.
As long as I'm not on there, as long as I'm not on the rap sheet here.
See if your name's on there.
Yeah, I like.
In the month of June, I'm obviously reporting this for Deputy Nieskern since he has recently left the village. The month of June, he wrote 8 traffic citations, 21 traffic verbal warnings. We had 3 calls for suspicious persons, vehicles, or trespassing, 3 theft and breaking and enterings, 2 juvenile complaints, 2 disturbances and/or disorderly conducts, 3 non-criminal, which are the alarm calls, 4 public assistance, 9 in the other category.
What's the other category?
The other category is right along with the non-criminal, so the calls that come in where people just request to speak to somebody. Total monthly activity 57, average monthly activity 48. Got a total of 57 calls handled in the village. 43 of those were handled by Deputy Nieskern or myself for 75% of the calls.
Everything's going pretty good, I mean, well received by everybody as far as I can tell. Thank you.
Thanks, Gavin. Anybody got any questions for him?
No.
Okay, thanks, Gavin.
Nope.
Mike,
Mike's up.
fire.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the month of June, had 7 runs for the month. EMR call in Liberty, Holt, a electrical pole fire in Jackson, an EMR call in Bessville, motor vehicle accident in Jackson, caboose fire, which is in back of a person's yard in Jackson.
Bergen.
Or actually, Bergen. An EMR call in Bessville and a dumpster fire in Liberty. So total for this year so far, it was 77 runs. We got 2 new firefighters passed their state test. And the other comment was out the park on the north end, our dry hydrant. Someone took the cover off again, discarded it. And there was a screen to protect getting stuff down in it. They busted it out, they put rocks and they put sticks and everything down in it. So we gotta come up some way somehow to secure that. I don't know how many times we bought new caps for it. Yeah. And that's fire protection, and there's a state law on it, and I think it's a felony, if I remember right from the rights code, to tamper anything with fire related equipment.
So what do you recommend putting around it? You need to put some-
I don't know, we gotta make some type of cage or a padlock on it or something.
That's what I'm thinking you're gonna have to do.
That, and have to keep it high enough off the ground because of snow, and that we still be able to open that, not too much trouble, but enough to protect it.
Do we need to run a camera down and see how plugged it is or anything, see what's down in there? See, I mean, I got a camera I can snake down in and we can look at it.
The problem is they did a pump operation out there, and they sucked up a lot of stones and everything into their truck.
Yeah.
That, after I heard about it, it's like, why didn't you put the tanker on back flush it? So I would recommend go back out there with a tanker and back flush it out in the quarry. Because at the end, there's a flapper gate.
Right.
Will open up and clear all that out. But the problem is that heat of the morning on a fire call and that we got the tankers and that.
Right.
Are those caps that easy to get off?
Yeah, we had a regular screw-on cap. They managed to get it off, and so we bought a cheap rubber type cap, just push on. But someone just always like to take stuff off and discard it.
Yeah.
We have a problem securing it. So.
That's an issue.
Yeah, that's my real estate.
Okay, sorry.
Yep. So, anything else? Any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good job, thank you.
And thanks for the awesome job out to the.
You guys did a wonderful job at the park.
Yes.
Clean up, Joycey.
Yeah, I've got some letters out there and by Friday, Saturday, if it isn't done, the police will show up. Okay?
Water sewer street, John?
I don't remember if I brought up last month or not, but I received a grant from PEP for safety equipment. So we got some new cones and some barricades. We didn't have any barricades. $460 some we got. It was only good up to 500, so I got what we asked for. The Seneca County Park District grant, we did get that also to do doors, windows, and the outside barriers on the bathrooms at the park. The total estimate was $6,665, and our grant amount was $4,000, so our portion will be $2,665. I did call that contractor back, and they said it's gonna be late August, September before they can get in here now, so. I did notify him it'd be about paving, but I've not heard an estimated time on when they'll be in.
Which streets were those?
Whole Acre and Monroe.
And that only leaves one more street left.
I thought there was
Yeah.
three.
Yeah, and it's just,
Sullivan and Elm will be the next
so
two.
will they pave the, four-way stop, you know, that area, are they gonna stop at the
That's
four-way
all-
stop?
That was done,
Okay,
so probably.
Okay.
no problem.
because
Start
they was
there.
telling me that the neighbors were saying that where they cut across, when you put that water line in for Alice Slough, that thing's settled in there, so I thought maybe we could,
We're at, yeah.
you know, so.
Wrong intersection.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Union, but no. Yeah, they'll take care of that.
Okay, because I saw a lot of that was busted out in there, I thought maybe I'd try to get that fixed if we could before.
Regional planning is going to assist us in getting the income survey done this fall that we've tried. I don't
Right.
know how many times to get done. Supposedly, they got a way to make it happen, so
Oh,
they're
good.
gonna help us.
That sounds wonderful.
Bills went out on the new billing system. I don't know if everybody noticed different fonts. They looked a little different.
Did some of the numbers change?
The account numbers are still the same.
Same.
There's more numbers to it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. We're still working on some of the tax assessed accounts to get them squared away in there. 123 State Street, which is the property down behind the funeral home. Down in the hole.
Oh, yeah,
Mine
okay,
Galloway's
yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
That's been turned over to a land bank, and that's going to be turned back into green space. The house is coming down, the barn's coming down. And from there, I'm not sure exactly how, whether the land bank then sells it or it's given to us. I haven't really got a straight answer on that one yet. I'm not entirely sure.
Does that include the fence and stuff too then, or,
I hope so.
well, that's what I'm saying. Right?
What I would like is permission to shut that account down, because there's not gonna be any utilities collected off of it anyhow. I don't want to write off what we've tax assessed to the property in case some way or another it does get sold. But with the amount that's tax assessed already, I'd be hard pressed to believe we're gonna get all that. So I'd like to shut that account down so it doesn't keep accumulating.
It's probably listed as floodplain anyway, so you're not.
That's what I'm afraid
You're
of.
not gonna put anything on it.
Right,
It is in Portland.
Yeah.
yeah, so, they can't build on it then, really, so.
So I haven't really got a straight answer of what exactly happens to it after it goes back to green space, but that is gonna happen this year.
That's good.
So, who takes care of the demolition, all that stuff? They take care of all that
It's the
stuff?
county land bank.
Does it?
They're given so much money from the state to take care of that stuff, blighted properties.
Okay.
And, so I don't know if they end up selling it to recoup their money. I don't really know exactly how that works.
So you need a motion for that?
Yeah, that's what I wondered, do you need a?
To shut that
motion to
account
that
down.
down?
I'll make a motion, to shut the account down.
I'll second it.
Scott,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Linda,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Of course, people going in and out of that house, don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's not secured
Oh, really?
anymore, there's windows
The
missing.
quicker we get that gone, the better off we're gonna be.
That's for sure.
We're gonna start doing hydrant flushing on Monday.
Okay.
And then the only other thing I got is, when you meet with them, Rob, for the school, ask them what they're gonna do for drainage if they're paving that lot.
He told me that he was gonna drain towards the back.
If they slope it that way, that's,
That's what he told me was gonna happen.
I just wanna make sure they're not
Well,
gonna
you can
try
ask him
and
again.
dig in and connect to our lines out front. that are
Should be
already
natural
over
flow towards
to
the
the
ditch.
ditch, that's what I would say.
How big a lot was it? I mean, is it gonna be like a couple acres or something?
Oh, I don't even think it's
I
that
think
big.
it's like 200 feet by,
300 by something or other.
Probably a place to park the buses so the kids can get on and off.
No, I think it's
No,
overflow.
it's for overflow and have programs and stuff.
Ooh.
So it's from the school to the alley.
You know,
Yeah, it might tell him.
Size on it. Don't have
Oh,
size
no.
on it. No, this is in the parking lot.
Anywho, yeah,
Find out tomorrow.
But that's what Steve told me, that so it's gonna go to the back. That's what we planned on.
that would be perfect. Okay, that's all I
It's
got.
going in the right direction there.
Yeah.
John, who is that bill for the restroom, or our portion of it? Do you know who's doing it?
Yeah, I don't have it wrote down here. I got the estimate there.
Should I do a motion for our portion?
Well, we're gonna have to,
Do we have,
Yeah.
do we have a firm quote that exactly what it's gonna cost us? Or is that a ballpark?
It was an estimate, so
I think we need to
yeah, let me get a hold
Wait,
of them.
okay.
get a firm quote.
They're not gonna be here
Right
for
now.
another
Okay.
month or so
All right, I
anyhow.
just wanna make sure.
Okay, Park, here's some information here. The fireworks was awesome again this year. Didn't hear nobody say anything bad about it. We didn't have any incidents out there and so forth. We did get some donations. Custom Machine donated $1,000 towards it. American Legion donated $500. Sons of the American Legion donated $500. Reineke Ford donated $1,000. Bettsville Marathon donated $1,000. Don and Denise Martin donated $20 for $4,020. And then our gate intake was $1,551.02. And that totaled up $5,571.02.
Than I expected.
Yeah, so I think that it was awesome. The most things that I heard out there is they thought that it would be a lot nicer if we have vendors out there and so forth, or something to do. Because this year, I think, is probably the first time I remember that none of the shelter houses was really used to come in and cook and all that stuff. So they was recommended that next year get something to go on with vendors or something, so they
Excuse me, aren't we underpowered though out there, the 200 amp?
Well, I mean, we just,
The other problem is you only had $1,500 worth of people come through the gate. They're
Yeah.
not gonna fund concession stands.
Right.
Yeah.
but I think that's, and it might be because we didn't have anything, I'm not certain. I mean, we gotta try different things. I mean, we don't have to go overboard, we can have a few vendors or something. That's up to you guys, what you wanna do, but, it's just some suggestions that was thrown out there.
Well, another thing, the Dairy Queen and the pizza place was closed all day too, so these people that were hungry, they couldn't find any place to eat.
Right.
And Robin said she could have made them in if she'd brought all those $5 pizzas from Pizza Hut or whatever they're called.
Little Caesars or something.
Cause you had them on actual 4th of July, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, that was the only bad part, you know,
But,
there wasn't
you
any
know,
place to go.
But like I say, they was awesome again, and everybody that was out there enjoyed them. It was very, very good.
Well, like we talked about though, I mean, I think we need, the committee together, see what we might
Yeah.
together first and see how that goes. You can't wait, so.
We
Snow
can't wait till the
flies
last-
to start talking
Right.
about 4th of July.
Well, I
That's
You're right.
now.
I'd like to get permission, I know of several people that were interested in forming a committee. And if you guys give me permission to go ahead and get this started, let them take care of figuring out how the funding's gonna be and how much the money and how
We're
much.
gonna have to know how we work.
Yeah,
you know.
and,
Yeah.
yeah, and so if you guys don't care to do that.
There's, what do you got, what name?
Oh, I just wanted to say, the park looked awesome. All the volunteers did a real nice job. I mean, it really looked nice.
You know, we're lucky to have our volunteers that we had.
And the new raft that you guys built and put out there, I thought was real nice too. So, have to give John credit for that.
We had people come through the south gate and go for Finley,
Yeah,
you know,
So
come
they
all the
come-
way from Finley to come over here and see our fireworks. They also said they wish there were like someplace to eat or vendors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yes.
But anyway, I'm just saying though, that the park looked fabulous. I think I told you that.
Yeah.
It looked fabulous. I mean, you know.
Yeah, our volunteers were so lucky to have them.
Yeah.
On
They're
that
good
subject,
blessings.
Last week, I was contacted via email. I'm not gonna release that person's name, because, she hasn't given me permission to release it yet. But apparently she is in with the Old Fort School Board, and they said with some of the new members, if we would like to set up a meeting with her, she's willing to discuss, talking to the Old Fort Board and coming to terms with them, on getting a levy on for the park. But this is, in her mind, is not a done deal. It is something that's possible.
Right.
And we'd be foolish to just turn our back on something like that. I have her phone number. I can contact her. I don't want to be the lead on just talking to her by myself. I want some council people there or whatever, the mayor or whatever, and we'll sit there and talk and come up with what Old Fort is looking for as far as terms. They want to have some, I mean, if they're gonna put it on their levy and they're gonna be, let's make it simple, I mean, we're not gonna have enough money to run that park without the school districts.
The Old Fort's tax base is too high, they can't put a levy on. That's why we're plowing their parking lots, because Bettsville took the hit for them.
Right.
We're tapped out. We're at the state maximum.
Yeah.
But does that mean for things that are not related to the school legally?
I have absolutely no idea.
I guess you can investigate it. See
Yeah,
what-
you don't have to
I can
investigate
understand
it.
our levy being too high that we cannot pay taxes into the school and therefore that we're at our limit. But this is not a levy for the school. This is a levy for a park that would be passed upon in the Old Fort School District, not necessarily the school itself.
What they told us at that meeting was the state law reads that a property owner can't be taxed more than 10 mils, and that was why we were doing what we did. And we're already at that limit.
I don't think a lot of people are aware that we're on a higher tax. We had to go with Old Fort's tax, you know, instead of what we were paying before,
I mean,
you know.
unless something's changed, but
We can look into it and see what,
that was why we took
Maybe
that
there was- is there
$2,900
something like-
hit on
Yeah.
our income,
Yeah.
on our property tax income.
Yeah,
I understand that was to fund the school, but this is not to fund the school.
maybe it's some kind of a special
And I
levy
don't
they
know
could
what
put
the law
on.
says about that, since the two really don't meet. You know, we're only talking about the taxing the residents of the Old Fort School District, not taxing for the school. So that's something we need to, before we turn our back on it and say, forget about it, not gonna do it, we need to explore that and find out, because we may be walking away from a solution.
What I'd like to know is now, once all this is all done with us, getting, what do you call it? Annexation in, will it still have to go through the school? Why, I mean, isn't there any way it can just be ours or something, or whatever?
for the levy?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, the levy has to go through the school as of now. I mean, that's the
Well,
only
yeah,
way,
or Liberty Township.
or Liberty, we could go through Liberty Township maybe then.
But, I don't know, that's the options that we're looking at. I mean, we gotta try something and see if they're serious as they are saying that it is.
Well, I'm.
But I mean, all of them that said that, hey, this is a great park, which it is. But you didn't see them out there, the ones that's bitching about it. So, but I mean, we need to look into every avenue before we say no.
I'm open to exploration to it,
Yeah,
see what our
I am
options
also.
are.
At least give
I am
her a
also.
phone
Yeah.
call and
Maybe
set
set
up
up
a
a
meet
meeting.
and greet,
Yeah.
and sit down and talk, and then if we have to go to somebody, talk to Alex or whatever, get some research done, pay for that and get it done and find out if there's some loopholes that allow us to go in that direction, maybe we can work something out. It's better than sitting on our hands and saying we can't do anything and just whining about our misery.
I agree. We're in control
Why do
of
you
our
guys
school.
have to go through the park, go through the school for it?
They're a lot larger, there's more
Tax
taxpayers
base, or
involved.
Okay.
large, more people.
The village just
That makes
doesn't
sense.
have enough residents.
You don't have enough
to
people
pay.
to,
No.
No,
no,
We'd have to have such a big levy
that
that
it would be, no.
they
Okay.
they
would
turn
never
it down.
even.
I'm following you.
Yeah.
Do you want me to jump in on annexation since you brought it up? Okay, I didn't know if it was later on your list.
Well, it is, it's under.
Okay, I can
it's
wait.
still gonna- Okay. Zoning, Rob?
Okay, we got a couple things here. I'll start in on the King Street. Apparently, and I don't know who laid this here, you, Scott, this you, or?
Yeah.
you this?
I'm gonna go to this and board this.
It's a receipt for the,
John gave it.
John gave that to you.
okay, John? Okay, they paid $275 for a variance. $250 for the variance and $25 for the permit. This is to take care of that problem with the deck being built on, partially on village property. Other conditions, and I know we're opening up a can of worms, but under those conditions with some compassion for our residents, I don't have a real problem with. So, I'm just caution you that they may come back and fight us, but just let you know. So I'm not gonna approve this myself unless you're telling me I have to. But other than that, I would like to see a vote by council whether or not we want to accept this. Is that legal?
I would imagine that council, yeah, I think that's fine.
Because,
So I will make a motion to approve the variance
And I'll second.
on 103 King Street.
Rob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Linda,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bill.
no,
And then we have the zoning, it's just a matter of the permit, and John can write the permit. So that takes care of that issue. Okay. Second one is I received an email. And I'll go over this with you, I'll read it to you. And I have entered this into Angela as part of our record retention because it was from a citizen to an elected official, and therefore as part of the sunshine law, we have to retain this. And I just contacted our great village administrator about this. He buys, calling the zoning guy toy. Hello, can you please tell me how Nathan Pinkston of 110 Union Street is able to, in quotes, or in brackets, paving a village of Bettsville owned and maintained alley when private use and alteration of such property was and still prohibited. Reference of previous homeowners' request for the same consideration be adamantly turned down by village council at the time. Signed, Stanley Poe, 112 Union Street, Bettsville. My response to that is, Angela's got a copy. I responded to it that I would check out the matter, and if I had any questions, I will bring it to council for advisement since I'm doing this job. His response was, thank you, there should be a question. Previous owner Isaac, I don't know how you pronounce this, Bollier, was told the council that it would be a bad precedent for village alleyways. We have said on this council several times that vacating alleys was not a good idea.
Right.
And our last solicitor advised us against doing that. That is absolutely true. So I went down there. I did not contact the owner. I went down there a couple times, but we didn't meet. I did look at what was done. Our zoning says that paving is a hard top, dust-proof surface. This is all stone, okay, and it's not, he's got stone in his driveway, then he put stone on the alley, and he went all the way back to his property. I didn't see anything parked on it, didn't see anybody using it for anything. All I seen was stone, that brand new berm was leveled out on this. So I don't see any intention for private use, other than somebody spent a lot of their money improving one of our alleys. So I'm gonna lay that in front of the council. Personally, I don't, unless I see him parking on it, using it, trying to make money on it, something like that, I don't see an abuse of it. I do appreciate it brought to the council's attention, but I don't see conflict in this. And the second observation I'll have is this really isn't a zoning issue, because they're not building anything, they're not building something from their property, it doesn't involve setbacks, it doesn't involve structures, swimming pools, sidewalks, etc. This is merely somebody putting stone on a village right-of-way. And as a village right-of-way, that goes under the street department, and unless they have a real issue with it, that's where I'll leave it, so.
Yeah, well, I agree, I mean, that's kind of what I said, I mean, there's a lot of people that have used, put stone or something down so they have access to the backyards or whatever, and that's.
I had heard, and this is third party, so don't take it for any gospel. I had heard that somewhere down the road, they wanted access, because that alley, according to our map, goes all the way around and comes out on Sullivan, that somebody wanted to use. And that's what alleys are for. They're not meant to be thoroughfares. They are meant so that you have access to back of people's properties. Okay, with that in mind, it definitely isn't a zoning issue. And the second thing is, I don't see where the infraction is, unless somebody can tell me something different.
Oh, this is an improvement, actually.
Does anybody on this council have a problem?
I mean, they still have access both ways, I mean, other public people can use it, as a public asset if they want to, so I don't see it's not blocking anything, so there's no issue there.
I have a question, since I'm kind of involved in sending that to you, if I could. What if it does become an issue with, he's got several nice vehicles, tractors, trailers, different things, if it becomes an issue of him parking there permanently, or?
That's a different problem for a different, that's a different situation, in my opinion.
It's a different situation, it's still not a zoning issue. That would be something more of involve the police for double parking, bringing our traffic ordinances.
So simply wait until if and when that happens?
That's what I
Yeah,
would
if
do.
he hasn't done anything.
I mean, it wouldn't be any different than you parking on Route 12 and getting out of your car and walk away from it. I mean, that's be the same issue. Double parking is double parking. You're allowed to use it. That's what it's there for. You're not allowed to sit there and deny other people's use.
Access to it.
Yeah.
Thanks for addressing that.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anything else on zoning?
I got one more thing for zoning. What prompted the letters for the swimming pool fences was I had someone trying to get a permit for a pool, and they didn't feel the need to put a fence up when there was other people that didn't have them. When I was made aware of which properties they were sent the letters. One did comply and the other one was here tonight. What's frustrating as a zoning inspector is I'm trying to follow the book, excuse me, and then we veer away from it. So I just stuffed my foot in my mouth sending them the letters. It was pointless.
Yeah, so we got.
If we're not gonna enforce it, then we just need to not
No,
enforce it across the board until we figure out what we're doing with it.
Tangent to that. John has been doing this job a lot longer than I have. Okay, he knows a lot more about it than I do. I'm learning. He's been there. But we have a zoning person on council, and we have a zoning inspector. In the zoning law, there's no deviation between the two. Okay, so John and I have been really good about working, and I haven't stepped on your toes.
No,
And I don't want to. But we gotta make the determination is who's in charge of what. Because I can't tell somebody one thing and John tell him something different, and we not know what, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm sure at some point that'll smooth out, but we gotta put some thought into this. Like,
Because to me, that book is black and white. I have no choice, that's an ordinance.
And as a person working for the village, who's not an elected official, that's the appropriate stance to take. But as one of the, for lack of a better word, legislators of the village, we view these laws as living documents that need to be reflected on and changed from time to time. And so we see,
Shortcomings.
and not only shortcomings, but opportunities to make it better, where John is prohibited from doing that.
Right.
Okay, he's administrating policy that we set. And so I totally understand where he's coming from, which that goes back to us going to executive session at some point and going through these and say, okay, here's our top 3 things and I probably will ask you, John,
Yes.
what's the top 3 things we should be addressing up front? And look at this and see, can we improve this, or this is right where we want to be? Anybody disagree with that?
No, that's fair statement.
I understand what you're saying, but I could drive around town and find 50 buildings that are built too close to property lines and stuff. I feel.
Which are grandfathered because they were prior to the zoning.
So when was the zoning for?
06 is when it started.
Well, my pool's been up longer than that, so I'm not grandfathered. If I felt it was unsafe, I wouldn't have it that way. And I understand you with having.
I can't make that choice though.
No, wait a minute. Let's back up a little bit. You said it was before our zoning,
Yep.
Yes.
then it is grandfathered. However, we will require you to make it safe. That's all we're asking. I'm sure that's what you want too.
Absolutely.
So I don't think that we're arguing, but we're on both sides of we're both on the same side of the argument.
Right, I didn't ask you to get a permit for the pool.
He doesn't have that choice. He can just go
Right
by,
for a pool.
and he doesn't know when you build it.
Right.
Okay.
For example, I see these,
Well, I've had my agent there, and they.
Maybe the
if
split the
they
difference.
insure it, obviously, it's.
Maybe the split the difference, and again, I'm not on council, it's not my call to do any of this, but maybe the split the difference is if you can get counsel something from your agent saying that your insurance is okay with it and will, if something happens, are gonna cover you, that may make council feel more comfortable if the pool, and I'm 100% lined up with John on this. The issue from a grandfather perspective is the pool itself. The pool probably itself, there's no question. It's older than your guys' zoning rules. The pool itself is fine, but you have an ongoing. The village has an ongoing duty to make sure that their village is safe for a variety of reasons, which brings us to the keep the pool safe situation. And I think from a council perspective, because, and I agree with you on this, to take a look at some of these vaguely written kind of older rules that may not make sense, one size fits all, that doesn't make sense, like you were mentioning. It's a pool that doesn't make any differentiation between an in-ground and an above-ground, which obviously are very different. But a letter from your carrier may make the village feel a lot better, that at least someone else who isn't us is saying, we'll cover this if there's something happens, we feel it's safe. It's just a thought.
Can you do that, Ted?
No, yeah, absolutely.
and that may be one of the things we do when we redress this, is go back and instead of saying, okay, you gotta do this and this and this, like we're experts at safety. Okay, your insurance has to be this and this and this and this and this. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Carry on. Got one question about the Amplex that we're gonna sign and send it in. But we came up, Angela actually come across it. There's an ordinance that we did back in 2011. got a copy of that annual?
Yes. I highlighted that section here.
Yeah, it was 2011-04, it's an ordinance establishing a video service provider fee to be paid for by any video service provider offering video service in the village. Authorizing the mayor to give notice to the video service provider of the video service provider fee in declaring an emergency. And they, when they did that, they put down that we get the percentage of 5% of the fee that they collected and so forth. And I was wondering if that could be what we use for Amplex, so that we got something for that. Or if you didn't want to do that, but before I signed it, that's what I wanted to find out.
I
If
just
you're
thought we-
okay with the 5%,
I thought we had agreed with them that we just didn't have to pay anything. And everything that was gonna be done, that they was taken care of, like the electricity and all that kind of stuff and everything.
well, I don't know that we made that thing, but I know that they're paying other villages and
Well,
cities and stuff.
Yes.
They're paying us something for it, so why should we not get something for it? I mean, that's up to you guys.
Have we ever signed a contract with them? We just told them that you.
No, that's what I
We
said,
gotta work these things out.
that's what I say, that's all I gotta do to finish that up.
Okay,
So, if you don't want it in there, that's fine, if you do want it in there, we'll put it in there, and then it'll be signed and sent off to them tomorrow.
Just, you weren't at the last meeting and this was discussed if we were getting anything out of it, that's the reason why you were getting it.
cause I know he was here and I thought we had given him the go-ahead and all that kind of stuff, and then I didn't know
We
what
said
that.
we had to go
agreed.
through the contract.
But we haven't signed the contract yet. It was voted in.
Yeah,
But it's
okay.
just
No, I think we ought to get something out of it,
Yeah, I
I
do
think
too,
the 5
and
cents.
we
I
have
mean,
an ordinance in place
Yeah, so why
that
would you?
says,
the
That
5
we
was
have
for
the right
video
to do
server,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so at least that way you get something out of it, because I mean, like Verizon on it, they all pay us a fee, right?
I agree in theory of the fee. I don't know if that ordinance is necessarily applicable
They pay like a
to them,
percentage, or
because
like,
that's a video service, and we're talking about data
Yeah, we're
service.
talking
I know
about
that's
data.
splitting
We're not
hairs.
talking about-
Right,
We'd have to do a different ordinance.
or we'd have to do a different one, but, I mean, we can put it in and get it going. If, do you have, can
You can negotiate whatever you want, so I mean, if you wanna do that.
you know.
I had Amblex on my list too, so I mean, if that's,
Do you know what they're paying other people, like Fostoria
No,
or
'cause-
Lindsay or
Because
whatever?
at Foster, I haven't even signed a contract
They
yet,
haven't come to a determination.
because I just was with them the other
Okay,
day. and
where are they at? They're over in Lindsay and Old Harbor and places like that.
I don't know, I didn't call anybody, but when she found this, I thought, well, that sounds like a fair price. Meaning that way you can, at least, we can always ask. I mean, that's up to you, but I thought 5% was kind of
5%
sounds
okay.
good, that sounds good.
What do you think, Bill?
It's all right.
Rob, what do you think?
I don't have a problem with 5%, but I would like to know what the other communities are giving. That's all, before you make that
Yeah.
decision.
Okay.
They're
Did you say
in Woodville
Haddon?
too, right?
Huh?
I think they're in Woodville, Lindsay.
Well, you don't have to search out every single one,
No.
maybe 1, 2, or 3.
But
of them
something
and
comparable
go
to
down.
us, like.
This is the going rate.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
go with that and go,
Yeah, yeah.
decide.
Yeah, that way it's done, but I mean, whatever that going rate is, I think that's, shouldn't be too hard to find, to ascertain, right, so.
Yeah.
yeah, and whatever you guys decide on, have him make the changes, get it to you guys, I'll take a look and then sign it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we do, then we gotta do an ordinance for that or whatever, then we'll do an ordinance to
We'll do that
cover that.
ordinance back then.
Yeah, I will.
Okay,
get us
We
behind us.
So we
we
don't
don't
lose
wanna
it.
rob them, but we don't wanna shortchange ourselves either.
No.
exactly.
That's why when I found that, I told Gary, you guys were trying to think of a number, and then it goes on how much they're making off of
Appreciate
that,
that,
so.
so.
Yeah. That's probably a better way to do it.
I would think so. Okay, house numbers.
Do you have one of them that I could see?
Yeah, we have a bunch of them.
Well, I know that.
Right by the wall.
Right there.
Really?
right here.
Right there, Joyce.
Okay, I just wanna look, because if they aren't what we thought they were, I'll just send that, yeah, okay.
That's what it is,
Yeah,
but the way we say that they're gonna put it out by the street and stuff like that, you're gonna
They
have to
wanted
use
that
2
down.
for 1.
You gotta have it on both sides.
You're gonna have to have it both sides, cause you gotta set it there like so.
And you,
so just want me to order some more? Or
no,
you
that's,
just-
No.
it's $5,000 too much.
No, we don't.
Yeah, another $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah, what the heck, yeah, we got all
We'll
this
use them for
money,
something.
yeah. Okay, well, we'll get her fixed
That
up.
was dripping with sarcasm, by the way.
Well, I can be sarcastic too, you know. right?
No!
I never noticed.
Okay, anything on the splash pad? Did you get any different bids or any
Nope,
more
only
bids?
got the one, the last one was $288,000.
Yeah.
And you know, did you see on Facebook, David Rhodes had that, he had a really cute idea too, the way the thingy, you know, landed in the quarry and stuff like that. I thought, you know, he could give us a thing of that to look at too.
Just to hear my wife tell me about what's on Facebook scares me away. I don't even entertain going here. That's too volatile for me. No, I don't have anything.
Okay, just go on. Okay. Do you have some, was you gonna say something or? Yeah, cut you off?
No.
Okay.
What are we doing with the house numbers?
Well, probably Linda and I is gonna put them together, I suppose.
Yep. After I get out of the hospital.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nothing says road to recovery like house numbers.
Yeah, yeah,
That'll
I
help
don't have
her.
to stay.
yeah. And everybody in town is gonna get one, so, tell them to be warned, all right?
You just did.
Really.
And then the house owner puts it in there, right?
No, well, we'll tell you where you can put it.
Well, yeah,
Be careful.
you know, 'cause I got a stone boulevard, if I have to put it on the other side of the sidewalk.
Here, to put
See,
it
there,
on.
there is, you know, according to the Seneca County deal, they have to be 10 foot on the other side of where the road is, okay?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's probably on the other side of your sidewalk, so we'll see.
Well, I just say, you know, if I get it, I'll put it up. But
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
But we
that I
haven't
put it up.
decided yet whether we wanna put them in the yard or whether we wanna put it like,
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah.
Well, the other issue we gotta watch for, we gotta make sure that we do the opening, because that's, John had a good point, because you gotta figure out where you're sticking these things, because you don't know where all these gas lines are at, because they.
Yeah, you
that's
gotta
what
be
I
careful,
was-
you gotta be careful where, you know,
Yeah.
we have to dial
Imagine all
find.
the oops requests that's gonna go in as soon as we start digging for this.
I know, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
We'll say whoops.
We're gonna get paid
Yeah.
for this.
Oops.
Well, the gas company gets really ticked if you don't call them and you break something.
There's water.
So does the water company.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do too.
We may wanna rethink this.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on to annexation.
Annexation, what I have is, I went to Seneca County Commissioners to try to get an application for annexation, which doesn't exist. They looked at me a little bit like I was from Mars, that they've done 3 annexations in 8 years. So what I did was I took it upon myself to modify the Wood County application to be consistent with what we're doing. Procedurally, I forwarded the application to Basic. Basic signs as the petitioner that they want to do this. Once they do this, they're in. They can't get out. I become appointed as their agent. We put the application in, and the application's got all the statutory language that it has to have in it, even the big bold stuff, everything. That goes. The legal description of the perimeter goes, and let me get you. Hold on. I have it. I've got my life more organized now. This is what the petition looks like. It's an expedited petition type 1 because all of the landowners are in agreement because there's only one landowner. So this is what it looks like. They're all going to sign here, which all has the magic bold language at the top that it has to have. We need to attach the legal description of the perimeter of the territory to be annexed, and the map of the plat of the territory is thought to be annexed. Those 2 things will need to be attached. Those two go to the commissioners with $350, I believe is the filing fee. And there's a hearing. I go to the hearing and grin, anyone who doesn't want it goes and says mean things, and then they make a call. And then there's some timelines hooked to it. There's 14 days to file certain things and what have you. But that's exactly what it is. Basic has this.
Oh,
So I got it out to them, and their magic people have to look at it and sign it, but, and I have to double check and make sure that the things we have from the survey are what they want, but I don't know how persnickety Seneca County is.
Can't be too bad. We don't have
Three and 8 years. I know, for example, Wood County there's a particular person who works there who's persnickety about everything. So it's just how persnickety they are, and if they're not too bad, and our stuff's good to go,
Be done deal.
yeah, done deal. Now, procedurally, I don't know how you guys wanna handle, I think at some point you'll need to vote to approve expending that fund, and we'll just do a check and file it at that point, but,
Are we ready for that, to do that, or no?
uh,
Or you wanna do it now?
I don't
or-
really, so the question becomes for me is this, I can do one of two things. Either you can do a check and when it's ready to go, I'll just physically get it from Angela, or I can put it in my trust account, whichever you wanna do. It makes no difference for me. The trust, all lawyers have to maintain a trust account called an IOLTA that, where the money that isn't mine sits.
I didn't think you wanna do that.
It doesn't make it, for me, it honestly doesn't make any difference because.
I'm thinking about Trump and cola.
So, right, so you guys would obviously just show where that it's being made to what it's for, it goes in my account, then I write the check for my IOLTA. But procedurally, if you would rather write directly from here, which is fine, leave it
I
with
think that's
Angela.
what we do. I kinda prefer that.
Yeah.
Let's do that, and then.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming, bye-bye.
Whatever, and then, I don't know how good your checks are, but I don't know how long they sit, but I mean, because these basic people, if they disappeared on me again, but, I mean, I have good contact for them, so assuming that's good, I can just turn around and file.
Well, I think we just make a motion, she can release a check once all that.
Let's just do that, and then I can contact Angela and make it
That's
happen.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense to you guys?
Yeah.
That way we don't, I mean, it's already been going on 10 years now, we might as well.
Do you have
Right.
a dollar amount of that?
I am 99.9% sure it's a $350 filing fee.
$350?
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll do a motion on
I'll
that.
make a motion to,
and do that, and then,
have a check available for $350 for the annexation permit.
Make it up to Seneca County, and
And I'll second.
Seneca County.
let's hold on. Let's say that to Seneca County, and
Okay.
we'll figure it out who needs to
Alright,
actually
who's
go.
second it?
Rob,
Rob.
Yeah.
Scott?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Joyce?
yeah.
Linda?
Yep.
Steve?
Yes.
Bill?
yes.
I think more likely than not, it's going to be to the clerk of courts,
Okay,
but
just let me know.
I don't know.
Okay, I think, Angela, did you put this, purge protect in everybody's,
No,
no?
Rob had asked me last month to check into that, when that 12% increase. I got a hold of Ryan, and he researched it, and he said that was a no-brainer. They credited us $102.03 towards our next bill. He said this is a standard that goes out to everyone, like the schools and all that, so they charge upfront, the shipping and all that. We haven't had to order anything yet. So he locked us in for $150 a year for this year and next year. And then he said we'll go from there to see how many copies we're doing then.
Excellent.
So,
Cool,
that was good news.
awesome.
All,
Okay. And the subpoena deal with Rita,
I can give you some answers on that part too.
okay, good.
This
All right.
is something different.
Yeah, this
Okay,
is-
when you're done with that, let me jump in
Okay,
because I have a
that's fine.
follow-up too.
We got a confirmation, the subpoena program you guys approved will be held here October 9th of this year.
And then my follow-up and my conversations with, I'm just gonna name her Rita, is wait till that's done. So we'll have an updated list of names, because some of these, she's not confident some of these are right. And from a you're gonna, from a criminal perspective, anyone that's older than 6 years is statute of limitations out, so you can't go after them from a criminal perspective. And from a civil perspective, I have to know what these people actually owe. I can't just vaguely sue someone. And what I wanted to bring up was, I was talking to my contact over in Napoleon, and what they do is their business owners, they turn over the W-2s that they pay, so they know. So the city of Napoleon, they know who owes them money and how much. So I don't because that becomes my question when I see the list. I don't know how.
Well, every quarter we have to send, send everybody's, pay our RETA tax for them, and then.
So everyone that's on this list, we should know exactly how much they owe.
No, we don't, because
No, we
they
don't.
are responsible to get a hold of Rita and do that themselves. We don't do
Yeah.
it for them.
Yeah, we don't.
Right, but if is an employer withholding?
A lot of
No,
them.
they
Employers
don't have
don't.
to.
A lot of them
No.
don't, like Fried Foods did,
Ah.
They have to tell them that.
yeah,
And some still won't withhold.
yeah. Fried Foods will not.
Company, I was with Whirlpool for years, and they would not withhold
Uh-uh,
RETA.
no.
It costs them money to do that, and they're not gonna do it.
Okay. That makes it hard to chase them
Right.
up and above the subpoena program. Just heads up. If you want to chase them criminally, that's fine. There's a couple of these people on the list I can't because I've represented them. Someone else is going to chase them. But you're going to be on a statute of, all these 2012s are going to age out.
Right.
But other than that, that's a decision you have to make. Chasing them criminally doesn't necessarily help you get the money.
Right.
They just say you owe them.
And then,
Collect them and collect them.
sure. Well, often, in my experience of cases where we're charging people criminally, usually a condition of any probation or whatever is, or in exchange for getting dismissed, is pay your taxes, is file a return and pay the taxes. But again, you have to know how much these people owe. That's the problem. And when employers aren't withholding, that makes it extremely hard to enforce. It's really, your tax system is an honor system with criminal penalties that are hard to enforce. Because the crime, obviously not paying your taxes is a crime. The crime is not filing a return. That's a crime in and of itself. But if people aren't going to withhold, it's going to make it hard for you to simply chase people.
Okay.
Thanks, Alex.
Yep.
Okay, the 2019 appropriations.
It's actually budget.
Right here, you already talked about it.
Yeah, we already went through that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're still on no business. What was the deal with Alice Cruz property? Did you get that resolved? You hit it for the courthouse and,
Oh.
I didn't,
I don't think there's anything we actually file.
oh, we had to research, remember, because she came, because there was.
Right, but I don't think
Right.
There was an elevator through her garage or something.
Right, I didn't think there was anything you had to actually file, because I thought the ordinance just took care of it.
Okay, I just want to make sure that.
But, because I don't know, my question, I guess I don't know what we would record. The recorder will take anything you give them, so I don't know if you just record the ordinance?
well, I can go see Mike, but with the ordinance, we have a copy of it.
Yeah, I had the ordinance, I have an ordinance, copy of it somewhere.
Yeah, so that's what we gotta have, a copy of it, and then we have to record it.
Do you have it in,
Right.
For,
Alice?
No.
Because are we, because we're not deeding anything,
No,
you're,
she just wants to straighten out, so nobody can drive through her living room.
right, I understand that. I don't know if we, I guess the question becomes this, do you want to file something on its own to extinguish it? Or simply see if the recorder will take the ordinance?
Let's see if we can just give him the ordinance.
Okay.
I know my-
If we gotta do an extinguishing, we gotta get it resolved. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's, we'll do it.
exactly.
You got any of those floating out there that we know of? Fake alleys or anything like that that need to be cleaned up while I'm at it?
Not that I'm aware of.
Just let me know. Yeah, I'll just do that then. I was gonna ask you guys last time what you
Yeah.
wanted to
I
do,
know,
which
I know we
way.
talked about it, I didn't hear a resolution to it, so I just wanna make sure.
No, we didn't have a resolution.
My resolution to it would be, I think, and I'll ask the recorder about it, is to physically record just the
Are you
ordinance.
gonna do it, or you?
I'll take it when I'm down there, when I have it
What did
down.
we do with your property, Scott? How did we do that? We had to have vacated the alleys through your property
But
also.
the village should own, on mine, the village should own the valleys. Way I understood it, because when I talked to, when I had the whole thing, I had it all put together as one property.
Right.
I went up to the courthouse and they did that.
Well, the village owned the alley that runs through Alice Lou's also.
Is that the one that goes behind your barn?
No, that's a street.
Oh, that's a street.
One goes through the middle of my living room.
Oh.
Yeah, actually Scott has a cross right through
Yeah.
his house.
Got a four-way stop in there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just curious, I remember doing yours too, but I don't remember what we did.
because we had to do that, because when I went to the courthouse, that'll record, because I had to put all,
Yeah.
I guess maybe I dig for my papers, see how the hell I did that.
Okay.
Do you have any clue where that original ordinance would be?
That was back.
How did she get a copy?
We gave it to her.
From where? Do we have the original?
Out of that,
I was just saying,
Yeah.
yeah, you can scan
yeah, it's scanned
Because
in
the
the
recorder's,
computer.
the recorder's probably gonna want the original. They'll give it back.
Oh, I don't know where that would be.
them. I have to have the number.
Well, it's somewhere because she just scanned
Yeah,
it
you
in.
have to have the number and find the book upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, when I'm over there next week, I will pop up and ask and see what they exactly will want from us. But because my problem is going to be if it's something other than the ordinance. I don't know the legal description.
Right.
We're really starting to fish
Right.
at that point.
Just leave a message here if nobody answers for the
Okay.
ordinance number and we can
Okay,
find
we'll figure it out.
original.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And then Gary, I need a motion for the 2019 budget for the council to accept it.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Linda,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Okay, anybody got any other old business to bring up? If not, we'll go on to new business. We get to Bowling Green State University. We got a letter from them. They evidently got some records of ours,
You got some more than ours?
records.
Oh.
And they wanna know if we want them returned and so forth. Westport Records Return Report, Marshall's Records Rest Board of, and from 1884 to 1898, one book.
Might as well.
Book
Yes.
covers both topics, also includes one legal-sized folder with additional Board of Health minutes.
Been going
When-
to archives,
yeah.
yeah.
You wanna just do a motion to return it and then John or I can get a hold of them?
Yep.
I'll make a motion for returning the documents from Bowling Green.
I'll second it.
Scott,
Yes.
Joyce,
Joyce.
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the Ohio Municipal League group rating letter. That it's just, we had talked about it before, because we had a different, for our insurance. You got, what is it?
We originally was through comp management for our workers' comp, they give us better discounts. And we are members of the Ohio Municipal League, and they chose to go through CareWorks now because they feel it's a better savings for everyone that's their members. So I just have a paper that I'm supposed to sign and send back to them, I wanna make sure you guys are okay that we switch over to CareWorks instead of comp management.
I think most, a lot of people's on the CareWorks, it seems to have.
Do you need a motion on that?
Yeah, you can do that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Steve,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Linda,
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Okay, Next one's the life insurance policy for John and Dave.
Can we explain that one too?
Yeah, go ahead, you do it.
They currently have, the first one there, I gave you guys all copies of this paper. The top says Dearborn, when Dave turned 65, his decreased from 15,000 to 97.50. And when I called our insurance lady to see why it did that, but the bill went up, but his amount decreased, she said, let me check into a couple other ones and see what we can get for you guys. So the next two are the two different ones that she feels are the best options for you guys to look over and see what you think. You can choose to stay with the current one, or you can choose one of the other ones. I just wanted to bring it to the table and let you guys see what's going on.
This is for accidental death and dismemberment.
Yep. And short-term disability.
So do we have to pick one?
Mm-hmm.
Does he suggest which one?
These are just the two, besides what we currently have, that she felt would be good options if you guys wanna switch to something different.
So the third one?
I like the second one,
I mean,
I like
look
the
at-
second
I mean,
one,
I
or
think
you
the
look
second
at the
one's better
numbers
than
and
me.
everything. Second one's a better
We look at
deal.
overall cost and what the benefits are and.
Right.
My
max-
concern with the third one was $300 a week
Yeah,
max.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, that's not real, I think 15 max and that. If you're hurt $1,500 is not a lot, you know what I mean?
Very true.
I mean, I was like a better deal for the cost, but the overall cost.
Right.
And then, John and Dave, I mean, he's still what, reduces at 70.
He wouldn't reduce until
To
70,
right,
so he'd
right.
have 5 more years.
Yeah,
So
I
he'd
think that's
still
the-
stay at 15,000.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's the better deal myself.
I
What
do too, yep.
Yeah, there's not much, there's no doubt about it.
do you think, Rob?
Yeah.
Choice for you, just like
Yeah.
Robert.
Yeah, so I think the number 2 is Reliance.
So you guys wanna go with Reliance?
I think
Yeah.
so.
I think so.
Okay, I need a motion for that.
I make a motion to go to change to Reliance. Is that an insurance company?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Scott,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce,
Yeah.
Linda,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody got anything else to bring up on a new business?
I'd like to ask a question, that deals with safety with the street, if I can. Where Deal Street comes out to State Street right there, and you have the church over here, that boulevard on the, gentleman's, is grass, and the church, people on Sunday park there, and can you get us, no parking here at the corner, because they park right up to where you can't see. If you come up to make a left, you can't see looking to the right. Because there's, you know, parking, people park there. I mean, can you, if they move down, it, you know, whatever, but it's not a stone parking lot, it's the guy's yard that they park in. I seen a couple times, I was out walking my dog, and I seen a couple people pull up there, and just happened to pull out, and a little car be coming down through there, and you hear the brake squeal, and you know. So I just wondered if you guys could look into that.
Yeah, we look at it.
Because a no parking sign would need to be put on State Street.
Yep.
You know, where they're parking, like here at the corner or whatever. I was gonna mention that to John, and I thought I'd bring it up to you guys.
Well, that makes sense.
I mean, the guy, I don't think he has a problem with them parking there, but when you come up to that stop sign, if you look to the right, you can't see nothing until you pull out. So,
Yeah.
We'll look into it then.
all right, thank you.
Anybody got anything else under new business? If not, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.